to News or Snooze, presented by Christopher William Jewelers. Bennett will give me 3 quotes. I'll say if they're newsworthy or snoozeworthy. I have a feeling you're going to try and get me going here today.
That's the plan. All right, here we go. Let's see. Here, this will be a good one. This is from Curt Cignetti in his weekly press conference. What's interesting about running the football, there was a time when running the football was the recipe for success. But if you looked at the top 10 rushing teams in the country and looked at their records, this is last year, that didn't really hold true. You've got to be able to throw the ball and make explosive plays. You've got to be able to run the ball too with some consistency and effectiveness. Curt Cignetti.
I agree. I think that's newsworthy. I agree with that takeaway. You do have to run the ball with some sort of consistency. So when you're up big, you don't run it 3 times and then punt it and then give your opponent like a chance to actually come back like we've seen 5 times this season. I also think it's not that important. If you're moving the ball and doing extremely well passing the football, then why run it?
This cracks me up coming from him, though, based off of like their play calling the first half of the season, where it's like you don't even have to run. It's like, then why?
Yes, they were running at like a 65% clip, especially on first downs to start the season at a 30% success rate. And it's like, that's not adding up. Unless, do you think it was another fall camp miscue? Do you think like that's what they worked on and thought they were going to rely on their offense, and then it just took until the bye week to finally make that switch?
I don't know. It's just weird. I thought it was
like,
weird.
Do you think with Alonzo Barnett, they were thinking, okay, we're going to have this redshirt freshman quarterback in that we fully believe in, but we also don't fully believe in. So let's try and create a good rushing attack that the redshirt freshman can lean on.
Maybe.
And then that didn't work. Barnett gets benched, and then McLeod just wasn't that offensive style fit. And maybe that's been the issue with the running game. They weren't expecting to be doing this running attack with McLeod.
I don't know. Maybe, but it's crazy. All right, here's another one. This is women's basketball. I pulled this up. This is from the Breeze.
Oh, this isn't Coach O's tweet?
I'll do that as an honorable one. I forgot about that. Okay, this is from Sean O'Regan. He said this to the Breeze. This was not tweeted by him. Heaven Bristow could be the most impactful we have. People are going to buy tickets to watch her play. Thoughts on this? She also, I don't know that her waiver has been approved yet.
Don't say that word.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie fans, when they get another waiver denial, or
it's gonna Twitter X. It's gonna burn down.
But what are your thoughts on Heaven Bristow maybe being worth the price of admission?
Sure. Newsworthy. I've not watched any of her film. I didn't expect her to be like, I was expecting this to be the Peyton McDaniel show. She also still doesn't have the waiver.
Ohio State transfer. The way he talks about her is that it'll be like season defining, like the waiver. So it's going to be interesting.
You know what else was a season defining waiver? The football one. And look where we are.
It's working pretty well. Yeah. They're getting a lot more press than they would have if they just gotten a waiver and we'd be talking about them.
That's actually kind of a good point.
Let's work in the Sean O'Regan tweet here. Coach OJMU, he tweeted, with the start of basketball season upon us, I'm deleting my social media accounts from my phone so I can give my 100%, there's a typo in there, so I can give my 100% of my attention to our team and family. Our accounts will still be there, but the accounts will still be there, but I won't see any messages at S. This is a really weirdly worded tweet. Until we finish in March. If you need me, call/text. Thoughts?
What a weird tweet. Also, the end, if you need me, call or text me. Coach, we don't have your number.
Steak Sauce replied, Coach, can you drop your number so I can hit you up when I need you?
Shout out Steak Sauce. I saw when you sent that, and I died laughing.
That's too funny. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That was a pretty funny one for sure. I like that he says he's deleting it from his phone though, so like he could like
get it on his desktop.
Days over, yeah, he's reviewing some film, pulls out the laptop and just scrolls through it.
What are those guys over at JMU Sports News saying about me now?
Do you think it'll be like the Cignetti thing where he's like, none of our guys are on social this week, we're locked in, like they're liking our tweets? Or do
That
you
was
think
hilarious. That was one of my favorite things. Or posting to their stories, like one of the most electric things.
Yeah, I told them to get off social.
Coach, none of them were off social.
They're on it right now. That was a good one. All right. The last one. This is the one that'll get you fired up. This is a section of a story in the DNR written by Shane Metlin. Relying on them for some content this week in our segment. Tuesday, a source with ties to Virginia Attorney General's office told the Daily News Record it appears likely that the Attorney General will file a lawsuit against the NCAA with the hopes of making the Dukes bowl eligible in this, their second season transitioning from the FCS to the FBS.
Snooze worthy. Doesn't matter. This is a bunch of hot air. This lawsuit, apparently, according to sources that I have on Twitter, are telling me that if you talk about a lawsuit, you can't sue. Didn't know where that was written in the law. Huh. Weird. I get, and apparently civil litigation, his whatever, upset that he said civil litigation.
So he went on with
This is stupid. Oh, sorry, JMU Sound Off. Yes,
JMU
great
Sound
interview
Off.
by them.
30 minutes, interesting interview. Asked him some good questions. Didn't answer some of them or sort of ducked them.
Well, yeah, he's a politician.
Right.
It's his middle name.
Interesting, though, that he's sort of talking about the lawsuit. Now we get this report that a lawsuit seems likely. I still need to see it. And I want to know what this lawsuit even is.
Well, no, he can't say that.
When you file it, you better say what's in it.
Maybe I'm a really big pessimist. Maybe I just don't believe that, politicians are out for the good of the American people. Maybe we can get down a whole list of things, but I truly do not think that this is coming from a place of wanting to get these student athletes what they deserve. I think this comes from a place of politicians seeing this as a cheap grab at votes ahead of an election. And they're just going to say whatever they want. They're going to say whatever they think is going to get JMU fans riled up so that they can get, a contingent of voters in the Northern Virginia, Richmond, Harrisonburg, 757 area, wherever the alumni bases are, to vote for them. And it's a bunch of BS because they're not doing anything. There's also bigger problems within the state of Virginia than whether or not James Madison gets a waiver. Our attorney general should not be going on a 30-minute podcast. Great get by Sound Off. Shout out to them for getting that interview. But there's no reason the attorney general should be going on a fan podcast. I'm saying this about us too. If we reached out to him for comment and he gave us a comment, don't give us the time of day. We are nothing. Like, what are you doing? You're the attorney general of a state. Go do actual stuff. And it gets under my skin. And it's also, I won't go too far into politics, but it's also very interesting that this guy's the one that we're propping up, and JMU fans are like, this is the savior of JMU athletics.
Now he does have a 4-year term, so he's got 2 years until his next election.
Does Luis?
I don't know her.
I don't mess with her either.
But what's the deal with just the whole push here for like so long without coming up with any actual file something?
Nothing at all. What? It's been a month and a half, 2 months since his letter.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. He also says on the Sound Off episode, we're all JMU super fans here, which doesn't make me think it's like an unbiased lawsuit. You know what I mean? Like it's clearly one.
Well, he went to JMU.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he wasn't a diehard JMU fan, would he be floating a lawsuit? Or like, is it actually like, hey, I want to stand up for one of the universities? I don't know. It all seems a little weird.
And the reasoning he's using is very like heartfelt, and Steve Brown, who's on the Sound Off crew, he's kind of made really good points that aren't heartfelt about revenue loss for James Madison, the precedent set by allowing Liberty to make that jump up and granting them the waiver, granting other waivers that this precedent was set. And now you're kind of going back on the precedent that was set. You're taking revenue away from James Madison. And these are all things that you can sue against. But none of this is being said by the people that are going to sue. The people that are going to sue are saying, isn't this mean? The NCAA is mean, aren't they? And it's like, okay, I think you're just reading what Twitter's saying and you're just regurgitating it to try and get cool votes. Get out of here with that.
Definitely a little frustrating. I think there's a valid point that JMU is like more prepared and worthy of a waiver than any transitioning team previously. So like I think they should have gotten the waiver. I just don't think they're going to reconsider. I'm not sure how the lawsuit factors in even a little bit. It also does not matter unless they're like clearly going to be the group of 5 team in a New Year's Six bowl.
That, and I'm also very confused what a lawsuit even stands on, because you
Right.
made the transition understanding the rules.
Yeah.
Like it's like someone complaining that your job doesn't let you say something, and you're like, well, freedom of speech. No, you signed away your rights when you signed the contract to work for this company, right? Like
That's the
JMU,
part.
like you signed away, you accepted the rules of engagement when you made this transition.
It's also, I think, some of the thing that bothers me a little bit with some of the fan push is where it's like we're being so wronged by the NCAA and the Sun Belt for not being able to play in the conference championship. We did them a huge favor by joining the league. It's like kind of, but they also did JMU a gigantic favor. Like JMU playing a full Sun Belt schedule helped the Sun Belt. It also helped JMU, so they didn't play a dumb fake transition year last year. They've played the full schedule. They're getting a ton of national attention. Recruiting's probably going to go way up because of like them
Yes.
being in the Sun Belt. It's mostly good. So they
Mhm.
might miss out on a New Year's Six game. They also like might have a few dumb turnovers and lose to Georgia State, and then everyone can just shut up. Like they're not a guaranteed lock if they were eligible to be ranked to be above Tulane or Air Force right now, or at the end of the season to get the New Year's Six bid. And it's also like if they played like I don't know Washington with the New Year's Six bid, like that could get ugly. I don't know. Like maybe they hang in there, have a month to prepare, play great, and win. It's like this great story. Or maybe you like
You lose
stomp and pound your
57 to
fist.
17.
Yeah, you pound your fist. You're like, we need a waiver. You get the waiver, and Michael Penix throws for like 450. So I don't know. It's not the end of the world if they just go through the season, win their games, maybe play in a bowl game.
I would love going undefeated, going to the Bahamas Bowl that's being played up at Jerry Richards Stadium, about 30 minutes away from where I'm sitting right now, watching them beat some bad group of 5 team and finishing the year with an unblemished record. That sounds like a great time. And then
That'd be
next year,
cool.
I hope we win a Sun Belt championship and go to the New Year's Six.
College
But it
football
is
playoff.
That's right. Next year it expands. So yeah, exactly. Like next year's when it matters the most. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. We'll see.